Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Wicked Jelly. This is the first, hopefully, of many videos, basically just discussing things relating to the type of board games that I like to play. Adventure board games, some of them involving miniatures, some of them not. I'm really looking forward to this. I plan on trying to take a look at a bunch. First one I'm going to do is Folklore, the Affliction, which is a fantastic game. It's made by Greenbrier Games. I really enjoyed what I played of it. I will admit I haven't played the entire game, but that's my hope. After I get through and show some things as far as setting it up and whatnot, that's my plan, is to actually do a solo playthrough, and hopefully you're able to enjoy it right along with me. Hopefully I don't make you roll your eyes too much. I will admit I am not a genius necessarily when it comes to these type of games, but I do really enjoy them. So just bear with me. It's probably going to be times that I'm going to do some things that you're just going to question and be like, why? Why would he do that? Why would I do that? I don't know. It's just how I am. It's how I roll. But hopefully we can have a great time together. I'm looking forward to this. Basically doing this. This is a game that can be played with 1 to 5 players. It has 6 classes. And that's going to be the first thing that I'm going to do, is kind of just basically discuss each of the classes. And they all have things that they're good at, things that they're not so good at. Again, though, this is a fantastic game, Folklore the Affliction. Hopefully when you see this, see what I'm doing, or enjoy my playthrough, it's something that you decide that you'd like to check out yourself. So let's get the ball rolling. I'm excited. Alright, so the first class we're going to take a look at is the Arcanist. The Arcanist seeks hidden knowledge and mastery of the secrets of the universe. She is a student of the ancient systems of numerology and chakric mysticism. Chakric? I don't know if I'm saying that right. As a collector of lost knowledge, she has found an old parchment torn from the pages of a much larger book known as the Necronomicon. So apparently she's like the female Ash back in the Middle Ages, apparently, messing around with that book. Of course, she doesn't seem to have a chainsaw for one of her hands, so she's doing a little bit better, I guess. The Arcanist seeks to find the remainder of this obscure text and explore the other dimensions of which it speaks, because as we know, that always goes really well. So that's the first class here, the Arcanist. And one of the first things you're going to want to do when you pick a class is you're going to choose a character focus. Each one of them has 2 to choose from. So for her, you could be a numerologist, which is you have studied and learned the lore of numbers and their mystical meanings. So you got a perfect mind. Once per chapter, the numerologist can spend a power point to re-roll any of her own die rolls. And again, this will make a lot more sense when later on we get into the game. That can actually be pretty cool. And once per story, she may roll 2 dice instead of 1 for any roll she wishes in the game, and take her choice of the higher or lower of the 2 values, which can also be a really nice thing to have. The other one is a Seeker. The Seeker has 2 auras and can use them as long as she has at least 1 unspent power point. These auras are represented by a double-sided token with a light and dark side, and I'll get more into showing that later on. Once per encounter, the Seeker may activate one of her auras. Each is Aura 1 and lasts for 4 rounds. The light aura is a circle of protection, giving her absorption 1 and allies in the aura +5 defense. This does not stack with other absorption bonuses usable during a skirmish. And the dark aura causes 1 damage to all foes that move into the aura on their turn. So that can be pretty nice too. I think the second one's a little more situational. First one could be really nice because it doesn't cost a power point, and it does add 5 defense, and it does last for 4 rounds. And the only really the only drawback would be that if she's out of power points, then, well, she can't cast it. But more than likely, if you're out of power points and you really need something like that, then you're probably in deep kimchi anyways, to be quite honest. Okay, and then here you're going to see the starting abilities. that this class starts out with when you first start playing the game, if you decide to choose her. Basically, it's kind of nice to have. It has it all right there. As you can see, you get 2 cards, starting abilities, and then she has a weapon, a stiletto, has some information on there as far as what it uses, and then she has a ritual card. That's something that the Arcanist can do, is rituals, and she starts out with a bandage, which of course can be used to heal her. And the nice thing is these are all located on a foldable card that actually has other information relating to the game. One has, when you quote die in this game, unquote, you can actually still participate as a ghost. So it basically has the stats and abilities that you can do for that. And then the other section on the foldable card has skills that you can get once you have enough gold to be able to, I guess you could say, level up your character, give them some extra strength, if you will. But not going to really get into that right now. I mean, it's not necessary. We'll do that when we cross that bridge. We'll get to it then. I'm sure I'm going to have plenty of experience playing as a ghost. Game can be very unforgiving in that way, and, you know, like I said, I'm kind of still learning as we go with this as well. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that whenever we get there. But as you can see, the one ability, it's the runic dice. It's Mythos for the Arcanist, which basically, since it's on there, means that the Arcanist is the only Arcanist. I don't know why I'm saying Arcanist. Arcanist. It's the only ability that, or only class that can use this ability. You sense the future and your destiny you use when you draw an item card. Draw 2, then choose 1 to keep and 1 to discard. And you can use that once per round. And it's an active one. Get more into that when we get to later on. And then you have, here we go again, Seek the Chakra. So, alright, always looking for that chakra. It's forbidden. It's also an Arcanist ability. Arcanist. I really don't know how to say that, do I? But anyways, it's dealing an additional +2 damage on a successful melee hit. You can do that once per round. And it's also an active type ability. There's other abilities that are passive, so that's why that kind of has some meaning. Then, of course, you have the stiletto. Gives the type of damage that it does, what it adds as far as strength-wise. Then you see the little 1d4 die on there. It's one-handed. Basically gives you that information and also what the cost for it would be. And then she also starts off with the ritual card. Those are some nice, basically, if you want to say special abilities. And I just realized I say basically like way too much. But anyways, so we'll get more into that, of course, later on too. But she does start off with 1. And then you'll see that little round circle with the bandage. That's basically what she can use. I just did it again. That's what she can use to heal herself. Is you can use one of those spiffy little bandages. And I don't have it in front of me right now, but I do believe it heals, I think, 1 to 4 Vita. So I'll have to take a look at it when I take a break here before I do the next one. But I'm pretty sure it's you roll a 1d4 for that bandage, and that's what you can heal. So not the greatest, but you know, it's something. So that's the Arcanist, seeking the chakra and the Necromonicon to help with the chakra. Alrighty. Alright, 2 things. I took a break real quick. I looked up about the bandages. I was actually mistaken. A bandage actually replaces 4 Vita, or hit points, or Vita. Man, they love coming up with some interesting names, eh? But either way, it does 4 for every bandage that you have. So that actually is kind of nice. They come in handy, but as you can see, you know, 4 Vita is just a small part of what you have, but something's better than nothing. And I was also mistaken about the foldable cards as far as how that works. The first 2 that I showed you for the Arcanist are on that foldable card, And then the other two things that are on there, one is location extras, which you could spend coins on. And then the other one is the lore tree, which is something that you can use as you gain experience points, or as they refer to it in Folklore, lore points. And like I said, that'll make a lot more sense when we get in there, but just wanted to clear that up real quick. So probably just going to do one other class too in this one, because this has gone on fairly longer than I thought. Part of it because it's the first time I've ever done this. Part of it's because I wanted to explain a lot of this stuff up front. When we do the other 4 classes, be able to go through it a lot quicker. But anyways, just to finish this one up, as you can see, there's your attributes on the left there. This is a separate card that you have. It's really cool in the middle. Towards the bottom, you can see what the miniature looked like in the Kickstarter campaign. For people that pledged and supported it during the Kickstarter, they were able to get some miniatures, which I think are really cool. I love miniatures. I don't know why, I just do. So, and I try to paint them, and I'm horrible at it. I bought a bunch of that army paint stuff, and it was the biggest mistake ever, because I'm so terrible at painting them. But I actually think you can buy them separately too, which it's pretty cool if you can still. They really are nice. But you don't need them in this game. I mean, you do get standees for everything. So, I haven't bought them. I think I've spent enough money on their stuff, but I am going to buy their new expansion when I get around to it. Okay, so anyways, with the attributes, as I've already said, Vita, I'm going to say Vita, because whatever, it reminds me of Velveeta cheese. But she has 21, kind of low. It's kind of low there. Her defense is 37. That's not too bad. She does have +3 might, so she's got some muscles. She's been drinking some protein. Damage bonus +2. That's not too shabby. And when you think about the fact that her stiletto already has a +2, and then she gets another +2, it's not too bad. Power points 5. So basically, to use a lot of her abilities, I swear to God, if I say basically one more time, but a lot of them will cost that. Stride 4. So you'll see when we get to the maps that basically means she can. Oh my God, she can move 4 spaces. Then there's the skills. She has a +1 in archaeology, +1 in nerve, +2 in occult. Those actually do have meaning at times. You'll have to make skill checks for certain things, or for certain attacks that happen. You might have to make a check against that. So the better you can have in those attributes, obviously the better off you'll do. Has the starting equipment there again, which we already went over. Mystic Knowledge. Hers are the rituals, which there's several cards for those. You do start off with the 1. And then, of course, you have special ability. She can resist the change. You have created powerful wards against the dark magic afflicting the land. You can never be transformed. So that's one nice thing about her. And the keywords, again, that's another thing that's a little weird right now, but will make more sense later on when we take a look at the cards. There's certain cards that will have keywords associated with them. And for her, if it has one of those keywords that's listed there, then it's something that she can learn. If it doesn't have that one of those keywords, then it's not something that she can pick up when she has the ability to get other skills. Alright, so that is the Arcanist in a nutshell. And now we're going to move on to our next class. Okay, next we have the Archeologist. The Archaeologist is an explorer and scholar focused on the ancient and the unexplained. He has become convinced that our history has been shaped by beings and forces beyond nature and science. He has traveled far and wide in his quest for knowledge, and now explores the depths of the supernatural to gain his answers. So, he's kind of like the medieval Dean, if you ever watched Supernatural. So, he's that guy. This would be Dean if he was older, had a mustache, used a whip. I guess he doesn't really have a lot in common. But anyways, that's the type of person he is. Again, you got two character focuses. You have Explorer. Your insight has been drawn from your extensive travels and interaction with cultures of every kind. You prefer the rough and tumble lifestyle learned from tribal peoples, and you have an uncanny knack for staying alive. When you successfully pass an archaeology check, you recover 2 Vita. I don't know about that. Seems kind of situational to me, but that's just me. Also, due to your extensive knowledge of anthropology, you receive a +5 might bonus against mortal foes. That's kind of nice. There's different types of monsters and villains that you'll face in this game, and one of them, of course, falls underneath the mortal ones. So he gets a +5 might bonus. It's not too bad. Other ones, Scholar. You have attained your knowledge academically from the study of manuscripts, tomes, scrolls, and written histories. Your knowledge of artifacts and relics is unsurpassed, and your wit is peerless. I definitely should be playing this one then. You are driven by your search for knowledge of the obscure and the arcane. I know you. Pass Archaeology 10 at the beginning of any combat to gain +5 defense due to the research you have performed on your enemies. That seems really high, but okie dokie. I don't know about that. And then once per story, you may re-roll 1 skill check. That's kind of nice. I don't know about that first one. It might come in handy later on, maybe, but I think they'd be kind of tough in the beginning. But maybe that's the point. And then you got the starting abilities. So this dude, he's got his Crack the Whip. Falls underneath Explorer for Archeologist. Deal an additional 1d4 damage on a hit with a whip-type weapon. You can do that once per round, active. And then here we go. Here's one of those passive ones. Iconographer. Iconographer. I'm going to go with Iconographer. Explore plus Cook. When you use a consumable instead of discarding it, pass Archaeology 6 to keep the item or token by placing it on this card. It can be used once more before it is discarded. Only one item at a time can be placed on this card. That's not too bad actually. That's kind of cool. If you got like a healing potion, instead of just using it and losing it, you can actually have it again. It's not too shabby. Same with a bandage, I guess. So, starting equipment, he has the whip. He's like Indiana Jones, just whipping away. Range of 2. Exhaust to make target immobilized after a successfully attack. I don't know why it says after a successfully attack, but hey, so they made a mistake. I've made like 30 in this video. Same deal, uses 1d4 damage, one-handed. 10 coins, and then he gets one of those awesome bandages to start. And that is what we have as far as that goes. So then let's go on over and take a look at his card to see what his attributes and whatnot are. Alright, so our Archaeologist, he has a 23 Vita, so he's got a couple more health than the Arcanist does. Has a 36 defense, so that's actually one less than the Arcanist, which is interesting. Would have figured maybe it'd be a little higher considering the guy knows how to use a whip. So, he's obviously pretty dexterous, I would think. That's just me though. +3 might. So apparently him and the Arcanist, if they were to try and compete in some type of strength contest, they'd kind of tie. They're both pretty much the same when it comes to might. A damage bonus of +1. He also does less damage. That's interesting. 5 power points, same as the Arcanist. Stride is 4, also the same as the Arcanist. No big surprise with the first skill that he has, +2 in Archaeology. I mean, it kind of makes sense. So, Same with the Arcanist having the +2 in occult. Then he has a +1 in awareness and a +1 in trickery. Starting equipment, whip and the bandage. Mystic knowledge. He also pretty much deals with the ritual, which is kind of interesting considering he doesn't even start off with one of those. That's kind of lame. All right. Well, anyways, so special ability freedom. Your skills have been honed to avoid the dangers of the unknown. You can never be immobilized. That might seem like one of the better ones, I would think. Then again, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'd rather have the transformed one the Arcanist has than the immobilized. But we'll see. Keywords for him is explorer, learned, and mythos. And look at that little miniature that he had there at the bottom. He's all whipping away, got that whip up there. Those look really cool, but the one thing I've noticed whenever you get those in boxes, it's really frustrating because they're like usually bent to hell and back. There are some tricks to, bending them properly, but it's so frustrating. So they always look so neat when they show them to you, but 9 times out of 10 when you get them in a package, like the like sword or whatever it is when it's separate like that is just always bent so bad. But it's cool. That's very cool. There are some things on YouTube that can help you with fixing it too. And honestly, unless you buy them separately, you don't need to worry about it because you just get the cardboard standees for the characters. And that sums it up for him. So there you have it. That's the first two classes going over in the game Folklore, the Affliction. Again, by Greenbrier Games, excellent game. You can see the art and detail they put into with the drawings and everything. Really well done. I definitely think that this is a game that I kind of wish would get more notice because it really deserves it. It's a great one. I notice it seems to be missing on a lot of people's, buy lists. I guess part of it could be there apparently was a problem when they were shipping some of the games out where some people got games with mold on them. So I certainly can imagine that would be frustrating. I get it, but I didn't have any problems when I ordered them. I believe that might have been more related to the initial delivery of them, which unfortunately was for people that pledged to the game and actually made it possible for this to happen. But I'm sure they took care of those people, and I somehow doubt they just left them hanging. Still would be frustrating, but it is what it is right now. Geez, man, I have several games that I am supported on Kickstarter, and I don't even know when I'm going to get them. With the way delivery things are right now, I somehow doubt it's at the top of the list, even as far as delivering freight from overseas. But it's a little frustrating, and I'm sure it's got to be really frustrating for the developers. So I feel for them, but I also feel for me because I want the damn games. Anyways, we got this. We'll be doing it. Again, I want to really thank you for watching this. Click that subscribe button and you'll be getting more wonderful things from me the next time we come back. I'll definitely go over those other 4 classes and I'll try not to say the word basically 80 times. You could always treat this as a drinking game, and every time I did say that word, take a shot. If you're of age to drink. If not, then I don't know, drink water, soda, whatever the case may be. Don't be drinking liquor. But anyways, it's great. Glad to be here. Look forward to making some more stuff for you folks to watch. If you have any ideas or pointers, by all means, please let me know. Just bear in mind, it's the first time I've ever done this, any of this, like putting a video together, putting something up on YouTube. So I know it's probably not going to be the greatest, but it's a start, and I will get better the more I do it, and I'm excited to do this. So thanks for starting the journey with me. You take care. Until the next time, adios, amigos. Yeah, goodbye.